Hi everyone, welcome to Cheltenham Chart episode 17, and a big thanks to everyone who is watching, as the view numbers have gone up quite a lot in the last few weeks, probably because Cheltenham fever is starting to take hold and because of the small field sizes in a lot of the races. And in uncompetitive racing, everyone is turning towards Cheltenham. I'll talk in this episode today about just a couple of horses from during the week, then about Saturday and Sunday's racing. And I am fully aware that we've only had the one bet out of our £400 bank for these videos this season. As there are a lot of new viewers, we've had a £400 bank in the last 4 seasons and made a profit of varying degrees, but always a profit. And that's the aim this year. And the one bet so far this season has been £30 on Tell Me Something Gal, at 14 to 1 after she was beaten earlier in the season. I may talk about at the end about how betting on horses who are beaten but who have a specific target at Cheltenham could be a profitable way to go. 3 quick horses to talk about during the week, the first of which was Paul Nolan's HMS Seahorse, who won a juvenile hurdle. I think this horse could be getting in quite leniently in the Boodles. The problem is that you need to see the makeup of the race and which other horses are in there off very low marks as well. But I thought this was a nice performance. He didn't win by far and he probably kept his mark at a nice level. And as long as the British handicapper doesn't go too mad, he could get in here in a decent mark. I wonder what mark Adamantly Chosen will get for some of the handicaps like the Martin Pipe. He's been second twice this season and then won nicely during the week. I thought he wasn't going to win too far, and then the Bromhead horse backed out of it at the second last and he ended up winning by a long way. It will depend on his mark, but this is a very good bumper horse from last season who'd been beaten twice and looked like he could get a very decent mark. And as long as the British handicapper doesn't go too mad, he'd be of interest in the handicaps at Cheltenham. And the final horse to talk about during the week was Porlock Bay at Bangor. He'd won the Fox Hunters last season. A lot of people will be crabbing this defeat at odds on, but I think he was just out for a run. They probably hoped to win, but I don't think they were going to knock him about to try and get the win. He jumped really well. I thought he was going to win, but he was just run out of it late on in the race. But I think this was just a tee up for Cheltenham. And like I've said before, some of these horses who are beaten can come back further later in the season and record wins at Cheltenham or just up their form, but they're overlooked by the market because they've been beaten in a prep race. At Newbury, a few things to go through there. Brave Man's Game, Papa, great weight carrying performance to win this. He will be a big rival to Galopin Des Champs. It will depend whether Paul Nicholls takes the horse there. I'm sure he's very wary after top of the game, winning the old RSA and then really never being the right horse again. He will be trying to save Brave Man's Game, but if he goes, it'll be quite a scrap with Galopin Des Champs, who everyone expects Galopin Des Champs to win, but I would say Brave Man's Game will seriously put it up to him, and if Ahoy Senor runs as well, it could be quite a race. Eldorado Allen went up in trip, and this is a theme for Tizzard. He seems to be able to put these chasers up in trip, and they seem to respond for that. I was disappointed with Royal Pagaille and Clan des Obeaux in this race, and although Eldorado Allen did well to win, I can't see him getting involved in a gold cap. The Ryanair, he could just be found out for speed. Allaho looks nailed on for that, and a lot of the Irish horses who would be playing for second and third would be as good as Eldorado Allen. The Game Spirit was a poor race, really, when you think of the horses who could have gone here, like Nubi Negra, etc. It was left to Finan Bull Savola to win. It was a nice performance, but really I don't think he's going to trouble the top chasers at the top table at Cheltenham. We have to talk about the Betfair hurdle, mainly because it's collateral form for the Supreme. Jetal did not run a good race, and this was the horse who was second to Constitution Hill. Whereas I Like to Move it and Nappers Hill both ran well, franking the form of John Bon. I do wonder about the Tolworth form, and although Constitution Hills looked unbelievable in his 2 wins, they were both at Sandown, and I don't like Sandown as a horse to take, as a track to take form from, and I'm not convinced by Constitution Hill being a 5-2 shot. He has looked superb, there's no doubt about it, but you look at the form book and it's not saying that he should be a 5-2 favourite for the Supreme. I think there should be a lot closer together with him and John Bon, and I think the 2 Irish horses could still play a big part in the Supreme. I am worried about the 5-2 Constitution Hill. I certainly wouldn't be getting involved in that at all. At Naas, Brazil absolutely bolted in. I think he could have blown a decent mark for the Boodles here. He trounced his rivals, but when you look at what his handicap mark could be changed to after this race, and when the British handicapper has his say, he could be handicapped out of a Boodles win. It was a stunning performance, a big distance win, but it could be that he's blown his mark. Journey With Me will be crabbed for his performance, but I thought it was a really nice performance. It's hard to win these sort of races easily when the pace is so slow, when nobody wants to go on, when the race is a crawl for 6 furlongs over 2 miles 4. It wasn't a graded race, but it was a race that a lot of horses have used as preps for Cheltenham. I loved his performance, if I'm honest. I think he should go to the Ballymore, perhaps put a pacemaker in, because the last thing that these horses like Journey With Me and Ginto will want in a Ballymore is to allow a horse, perhaps defecting from the Supreme, to use its speed. They need to use their stamina. So if I was talking about Ginto, I'd be looking to run Hollow Games as a pacemaker to tow him into the race, or perhaps Grand Jury to tow Journey With Me into this race. Don't give a horse like Sir Gerhard or Dysart Dynamo, who wants to use his speed and pace, don't let it be a crawl in a Ballymore. I thought Journey With Me is the rightful favourite. I think this was a good performance. It will be crabbed everywhere because of the slow pace, but I think he won despite a lot of problems. They wanted to teach him, they wanted to have him in behind, but they just weren't given that opportunity. But I think it was a really nice performance, and I would not be averse to backing Journey With Me for the Ballymore, but he's well found in the market and he's 4-1 favourite. Ellie May and Billoway both recorded wins that they should have recorded. Ellie May jumping really well and now second favourite behind Concertista for the Mayor's Chase, and Billoway jumping a lot better than he has jumped in the past, and he needs to get his jumping together if he's ever going to win a Hunter's Chase, the Fox Hunters at Cheltenham. He has to jump better. He's thrown the race away twice in the last 2 years with poor jumping. He was better in this race at Naas, and he could put it up to all the horses in that race. But he'll be found in the market because Willie Mullins, against a lot of unknown trainers, he's going to be a shorter price than he should be. But if he can jump like he jumped yesterday, he'd have a far better chance. I can't say I was very happy on Saturday watching the Mayor's listed hurdle at Warwick and seeing my Coral Cup bet on Marie's Rock. Well, there was no bet, but I was really keen on Marie's Rock for the Coral Cup, and to see her blow her handicap mark in this race was really disappointing for me. She won really nicely, and now she'll go to the Mayor's hurdle, I would imagine. She'll get a £6 to £8 hike for this, and that's a difficult thing to do. Get a hike of half a stone and then still win at Cheltenham. I don't think that's really feasible. I think if they were going to go for the Coral Cup, they would have had to leave this sort of race alone. But they've won, and she's won nicely but it does blow the mark for the handicap as far as I'm concerned, and I don't feel now she's a bet for that race. I think we'll have to rethink the Coral Cup after that, which is really disappointing. Edward Stone beat Third Time Lucky, who's never been a horse I've liked. I've always felt Third Time Lucky's overrated, that he wins poor races. And although he has a lot of supporters and I don't want to upset anyone, he's never been a horse I've taken to. Edward Stone, I still feel will need to up his game to beat the second-rate Irish horses, if I'm totally honest. I still think that the horses below Fernie Hollow, such as Riviere d'Etel and Blue Lord and St. Sam, would still be ahead of Edward Stone. That's just purely my opinion, of course, and I have to put my opinions up on the video, and that is my opinion. I thought I'd sussed out a little bit of a plot until I went into the betting for the Paddy Power Plate on the Thursday, and saw that Celebra de Len had been noticed by everybody else as well. So although he was going to be an eye catcher, he can't be an eye catcher now because everybody else has seen it and everybody else has taken the same view as myself. Punchestown on Sunday looked a good meeting. The Banks race looked really good, and I felt Shady Operator was the one to take out the Banks race, even though he finished second to Midnight Maestro. I don't think Midnight Maestro likes the Cheltenham cross-country course. I'd definitely take Shady Operator out of this race, and at 10-1 he's no forlorn hope for the cross-country. I think he's quite a good bet, if I'm truthful, and he's one I'm seriously thinking about for having a bet on. I thought this was a decent run. Ciel de Neige won again over fences. This is his third win in a row, and he's no back number for the Arkle at 16-1. It will depend what JP and his team decide to do, whether the horse will go there, and you'd have to wait until then to see what they're keen to do. I thought the Listed Hurdle looked a good race. Largy Debut did not go on again he won his debut over 2 miles against Kilcrap. Then he bombed out, and he never really bombed out this time, but he was well beaten in fourth behind Slip of the Tongue and Deploy the Getaway. I thought Deploy the Getaway was a bit of an eye catcher, and perhaps up in distance or in a handicap he could do some serious damage. Even Slip of the Tongue could do some serious damage up and trip, but he'd need to get his jumping together. He came to win this race and nearly threw it away with a poor jump at the last. Last time out he had a very poor jump at the last, and that's twice that Mark Walsh has done well to stay on this horse. He looks like he's got a serious engine, but his jumping needs to be brushed up, and I'd definitely take Deploy the Getaway out of this race rather than him. To finish today's video, there is only £30 of the bank in play at the moment on Tell Me Something Girl at 14-1. I am seeing a theme of horses who are beaten being pushed out, and that is a theme that I'll probably look at next season with, the horses like Florian Porter being pushed out, now being favourite again. Manila Indo was pushed out after he was beaten. He's back into third favourite for the Gold Cup. There are bets to be had with horses who have a certain target losing in their preps and the bookmakers overreacting. I am fully aware though that I need to start looking to find bets to put up on the videos. There are a couple I have in mind, but until I've placed bets on them, and I'm quite hopeful that they're going to be not only value but possible winners of the races, then I'm not going to put them up. Like I said at the start of the video, the view numbers are going up. Anybody who is watching, please don't just follow my view of the horses, or if I put bets up, without doing a lot of work yourself, checking out if you fancy the horse and if you agree with my view on that horse and on the opposition. Because if you feel a horse is a good bet for a race and you go backing somebody else's horse because their views changed yours, then it's highly likely that your own view was the right one in the first place. So it is nice to have so many new viewers. Thanks for watching. I hope people will continue to watch. I'll continue to put up my totally genuine, unbiased view. This is how I look at the races. This is what I think. There are no bookmaker backing or anyone else giving me their views on these videos. It's purely my own. And a lot of the time it will be wrong, but I can only put my own view up. So thanks for watching to the guys who are continuing to watch, and thanks for watching my videos if you've just joined. I wish you a good week, and I'll be back to you next week. Bye for now.